morning. Hope everybody had an awesome Monday morning and definitely a really good start to the week. We're going to run through every single trade that we took today, the whole 9 yards. Kind of an interesting, uneventful morning, honestly. It was really good to start, and then it went almost silent thereafter. So we're going to run through everything. Only really traded MBIO and VOR today. Now, MBIO was the leading gapper this morning. VOR was from last night's watch list, so that was the morning. So, again, pretty uneventful. We're going to run through everything that I did this morning, though, how you could have done it too, to make today a pretty easy green day. So I want to actually start by looking at VOR. We had a pretty lengthy watch list last night, and this was on the top of the list. And this thing looked really good for today. I'll pull up the watch list so you can actually see it from over here in the free trial last night. And I was watching it today. You can see down here is bottom of the list. Watching it for confirmation here over the previous area of supply. So we got the break of that previous area of supply over 204. And again, we want to confirm that area of supply to now become an area of demand. And so that's exactly what we had happen here this morning. It met criteria beautifully. And so we had that strength over 204. Watch for the pullbacks. Again, I want to see those things pull back, and I want to see it get aggressively bought back up. And it did just that this morning. This is what I was looking at last night for the range over 250. We had a range of 250. And, well, we got that lo and behold this morning. It hit way above that. So this thing was nice this morning. And as you can see, broke up out of the bell today. I tried to take it in this first range. Let me get my pen tool so I can draw here for you. I tried to take it in the first part of the range here for that break higher, and ultimately, a little bit indecisive. We can see here, per my system, if a candle fails to break the new high, cut it instantly. So I have it here for the break of this high, and I take some profit up into the highs, then it rejects, and I take the rest out. A small win. Got a little bit there. But again, once the candle breaks the new high, if it falls back beneath that previous candle's high, it's an instant exit. That was exactly what we did here. I tried to take it again off the pullbacks, off the 5 EMA for the curls back higher. You can see here, and then another really small profitable trade. Couldn't get that move higher. We could just see the indecision in price action. Again, it's not a great look. But where it gets interesting is we sort of form this nice tightening wedge, where we have this lower low, lower low, lower high, and then it flips structure here a bit. We confirm, we can see this accumulation here again on this higher low. And so we have a VWAP, of course, in place here. This is VWAP. And we have, again, look at all these wicks off the low here, signaling accumulation. So we have buyers showing up here off the pullbacks over the 220s, and just keeps on showing up. We have buyers here. Pulls back again, it gets bought back off the 12 EMA. Again, buyers here. And then again, it pulls back again to retest VWAP and gets bought back up. And so I say it's a beautiful spot for that breakout. And so I take it for the breakout here. Again, as you can see, took it for the break. Beautiful move. This thing was, the timing of this was impeccable. It could not have been any better. And I took it here this morning from 225 all the way to about 245, the top of its range. As we saw the tape start to slow here, I went ahead and took my profits at the right time. And obviously this thing has moved a lot higher today, but for the exact trade here that we did trade today, this was the best way that I could have traded this thing. It was just beautiful. You can see here, sold a half at the previous high of day, let the rest of it ride until we saw this double top form off the high, then took my full profit. And it doesn't really get much easier than that. Of course, I didn't play it thereafter. I was pretty much done by, 10:30 this morning because it was just so slow. But all in all, I'm still super happy with how I played this thing today. We knew we had range 250, which would have put us right, you can see right here, that 250 level is literally here, right above this high. And so I said, we're starting to see tape slow. And so we're right here underneath 250. Let's go ahead and take profits. So made the right decision there. Outside of that, at MBIO this morning, this thing was pretty good. I had great conviction back here to start the morning. And it was really a fun one. This thing was really fruitful. Let me zoom in so I can show you a bit better here. And this thing was really nice to start. But I started to lack conviction on the later part of its move. And we'll sort of talk about why that was. I'll switch to a 3-minute time frame so you can see a bit easier here what I was looking at. Because it really was a great setup. And there was a few ways to look at this. Now, this chart's a little bit funky, so I'll show you over here on a zoomed in chart. I hate using the trade ideas charts because you can't actually expand it. You're stuck trying to squint to see what you're looking at, which is not very helpful. So let's look back at it this way. And you had a really nice opportunity here. And you can see my first entry on this was right around 936. So we gave the market time to prove direction first, give it time to set up, and then caught the trades thereafter. And this thing, again, could not have been any easier, really. We just used the simple 5 and 12 EMA strategy that I use every single day. I left a good bit of profit on the table here. I'll be honest, left a good bit of profit on the table. But I knew we only had range here to about 440. We had that 440 level, which we noted as being a level of resistance. And so left a good bit of money on the table here. It is what it is. I honestly, looking back in hindsight, We probably could have rode this thing to easily. Probably you can see here 435. This thing never really broke to a new low until this thing got up here into the fives. So left a few bucks on the table. But it is Monday. We had a choppy holiday week last week for the most part, and just trying to break the ice in a good way, lock in some profits. So be it. You locked in and was just trading smart. But this thing was really nice. And so what we can see here is we have this grab of liquidity back from pre-market. Let me get my screen back over here. We have this grab of liquidity back from pre-market. You can see here, this thing tries to pop towards 420, rejects right back down at the threes. All right, so we have a grab of liquidity here. And so we can go ahead and drag this over. This is an area of supply. We know we have liquidity sitting here in the market. Price tries to break again later. It fails to do so. Then finally breaks above, confirms. You can see the accumulation here. And now this area of supply is now an area of demand. And now we can put together these pieces of confluence. So again, now we understand that we have supply becomes demand. We also have these beautiful higher lows formed here off the bottom. Again, right in line with the 12 EMA. Look at this. Higher lows, trendline support right in line with the 12 EMA, right in line with the supply and demand pivot, which made this a beautiful opportunity. On top of the fact we also had beautiful daily range as well, which we saw to about 440, then up into the fives. This thing could not have been any easier as well. This was gorgeous. And again, confluence is your best friend. We want these A+, high quality, multiple confluence setups. This thing could not have been any better. This was beautiful. And so as we see, price pivot out of this area of supply, as you can see right here, pulls back, confirms. I'm taking this entry, and thing could not have been any easier. Beautiful setup. I'm talking, we had trendline support, supply and demand pivot, range to the upside, off the 5 and 12 EMA strategy. This thing was beautiful. And again, was able to take it here. Honestly, like I said, left a good bit of profit on the table here. Took profits up here to the high of day, but I can't be too fussed. I can't be too upset about this. This is a beautiful setup. Had fairly tight risk as well. Was only risking the bottom of this candle here, and was able to capture a pretty significant move. You can figure a 20-cent risk, and he was able to capture about 40, 50 cents a share. So not too bad at all. So that was that trade there. That was pretty fruitful. And then that was pretty much the gist of that. My issue thereafter later in the morning was whenever we're looking back at this thing, obviously I don't want to go trading the backside of the move. And looking back in hindsight, we never really had that cross of the 5 and 12 on the 3-minute time frame. But I just didn't like this. The only way that I could really play this was off the bottom of this range, which obviously you're not going to take it here. But after it confirms the reversal here, we confirm this area of buy-side interest that pulls back again. This becomes an area, again, of interest for an opportunity. And I took it here. But I just lacked so much conviction that I just couldn't capitalize on the move the way that I really wanted to. In hindsight, I couldn't have anyways, because look at this nasty price action here. This would have knifed me out anyways. So really I couldn't get anything working here. I took it down here, took some small profits, break even, small profit, and I just couldn't really get anything going. I didn't really have that conviction. Because the only way to take this, I'd be taking entries beneath 12 EMA, which just sort of goes against my entire system and strategy. So that I couldn't do. I didn't love that. And looking over the 1 minute as well, you can also see here just how this thing traded. I took it down here initially for that breakup higher. And we got a little bit of a move, but then of course it chops beneath and then tries to set up again, then finally goes, and I didn't have a great time trading this here. So my main setup was back here on the front side, but you can see here, this is the main front side of its move, where the 1 minute, 5 and 12 EMA are both in line with the front side. As you get all through this range here, they're sort of just crossing back and forth as it consolidates. Not really a real clean trend here that I could have really been a part of. I didn't have any conviction at all. So I tried to have that conviction. I tried to play off the pullbacks for the curl back higher, and I just couldn't make it happen. But that was the trade from this morning. A pretty good day. Definitely more opportune than earlier last week, which Wednesday and Thursday last week before the holiday weekend was fantastic too. But so earlier day today, shorter day today, just had MBIO, VOR for a pretty easy, uneventful Monday, but a really good way to start, protect those profits in the day a little bit early today, about 30 minutes ahead of schedule, and just go into tomorrow with some profits. So hopefully that you learned a thing or two from this video. Again, just same as always, playing and sticking to the same strategy and system that just works on a consistent basis as the market continues to heat back up out of the holiday weekend. But hopefully you all had an amazing day today. And that being said as well, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial. 7 days for completely free. You can watch me trade stocks just like this every single day in real time. Get watch list, education, chat room access, and so much more. And of course, we also have our 4th of July sale going on right now as well, where you can actually get 25% off of the annual and our 60-day trading bootcamp until tonight. So that will end July 7th, tonight at midnight. All you have to do is text FREEDOM to 203-400-9512. You get like off of annual every single year. And again, you also get a pretty good discount on the bootcamp as well. So something to look into before that does end this evening. But overall, really, really good day. I'm happy with it. But that's going to be all she wrote until tomorrow. Hopefully a bit of a more active day tomorrow. a really good day for executing today and looking forward to more opportunity tomorrow. That being said, I'll see y'all then.